Closed captioning for the Casey Malone Show is sponsored by Hunter Stevens Land Title Agency. Integrity, service, and commitment you can trust.
Oh yeah, Casey Malone is serving up local. It's time for the stories of our region, the tastes, the sights, the sounds, and the people in and around the valley. Get ready for some local flavor on the Casey Malone Show.
Today, the new and improved Mahoney County Dog Pound is now open. We get a behind-the-scenes tour. But first, YSU men's basketball is underway. I sit down with the new head coach, Jared Calhoun. Basketball season is about to begin, and YSU has a new head basketball coach, Jared Calhoun. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. And what's your impressions now that you've settled in here at YSU? Are you happy?
What? Yeah, you know what? It's been really good. It's been a lot of fun to get out in this community. We've been busy the last 5 or 6 months. The minute we got hired, we've been on the floor running. But it's been really good to meet so many great people in the city, to build our team, to get acclimated with the city of Youngstown. It's been a great experience.
Well, you came from Fairmont State. What was the attraction for I know you're originally from Cleveland, so you're very familiar with Northeast Ohio. But, why did you really set your sights here?
A lot of people have asked that. I think it starts at the top. Anytime as a young coach you're able to come into a situation with great leadership. I had a great job. I could have probably signed a 10-year contract. We were really, really happy in Fairmont. But, President Jim Tressel, to me, was a game changer. He was a guy he was an icon to me, growing up in Ohio, being a Buckeye fan. He's a guy that I always have admired since I was young. So I started doing my research on Youngstown State, saw the direction, saw all the different changes that were taking place. And then when I had a chance to get on the phone with Ron Stroll, our athletic director, and hear his vision, I just felt like this could be home for us.
I mean, recruiting must be a lot of work. You've got to look, how far does that net go that you throw out to get those students?
I always tell our staff, if we're not recruiting daily, it's kind of like shaving. For a guy, if you don't shave, you're going to say, wow, coach, you look really sloppy, right?
Yeah.
You don't look really good today. So recruiting is the same thing. If we don't recruit daily, we're going to get sloppy. And what I mean by that is we're not going to get the players that we want to get in our program. We have a very specific style of play. We know how we play. We have to go find those guys. And recruiting can be tricky. You can recruit a young man for 2-3 years, build that relationship with them and not get them.
So are you just watching high school tapes and reading the paper? And I mean, how do you even become aware of all that? There's a lot of high school basketball players out there.
There is. What I try to do is we try to build a map of the state of Ohio. There's certain areas that you have relationships with those coaches. Right here in Youngstown, we've got to protect our territory. It's got to extend to Cleveland, Columbus, Cincinnati. I think as you see us get into this thing, our roster will have a lot of Ohio kids because I think Youngstown State's a school in Ohio that's on the rise.
Yes.
If you look at our enrollment, you look at each year, the GPA, the average GPA of coming into YSU has grown every year. You look at our honors program, you look at our business program, our engineering. The reason I like YSU, this is a college town. We are the city's team. The Penguins are everywhere in this community, whether it's Boardman, whether it's Canfield. I think the entire community, surrounding communities, really rally around Youngstown State.
And you were saying that you look for players with the specific style. And what is your style of play? How are you going to approach basketball, coach? Well, let's talk.
Yeah, you're going to see our style here shortly because you're coming down to practice. I would describe our style as very frantic, very aggressive, very fast, tempo. We play music at practice. We do some things that most coaches don't do. I want our guys, number one, they got to have fun. You know, if they don't have fun at practice, I'm not going to get maximum effort out of them.
Yeah.
So we want to have fun. We want to have energy. We want to have that togetherness. We want to shoot a lot of threes. We want the ball to go in the basket. Also, with fun, you've got to have a level of grit. So we talk about every day about having that toughness, that passion.
Yeah.
Let's reflect our city. I think of Youngstown, I think blue collar.
Yes.
I think hardworking. I think of great people. So we want our fans to say, wow, this team really reflects our entire city. I want to go see those guys. I want to be proud of that team. And I think you've seen that with Coach Pelini. Their teams play really, really tough. His teams are very prepared. You know, he had 2 weeks to prepare for South Dakota. You know, I'm going to put my money on Bo Pelini and his staff because those guys have a sense of toughness. And, you know, when I got to those practices to watch football here and there, I'll pop my head in. That's what you see.
In your formative years, high school, you played for Villa Angela St. Joe's. And you got to play against LeBron James when he was at Akron St. V, right?
Yeah, you know that.
What was that like?
Well, he was a freshman. I was a senior. We were 1 and 2 in the state. It was at the Canton Fieldhouse, sold out crowd. And it was my last high school game ever. So it's one of those games you'll never forget. We lost the game. Whoever won that game was probably going to go on to win the state championship. So it's not too bad to say your final game was lost to probably the greatest basketball player or one of the greatest basketball players of all time. But a guy on that team is one of my best friends. His name's Maverick Carter.
Yes, yeah.
And Maverick does a lot of LeBron's marketing things, and you know, he's part of the LRMR. So he teases me. I don't tease him, but he teases me a lot that, you know, he ended my high school career. But they were a great team. They went on and were undefeated, and we had a good run. But yeah, it was pretty neat to say we played against those guys.
So in the 6 months you've been here, there's been a lot of growth, and you're doing a lot of upgrades for the program?
Yeah, you know, one of the things that we wanted to make a big push is get more community involvement. So we've done a lot of different activities that's really been surrounded by the help of great people at Youngstown. So President Tressel and I sat down and we had a meeting, and he said, you know, what are you trying to do? What are you trying to accomplish? What are the goals? And he actually came up with the name. You know, he said, let's call it the 6-Man Club. And so all the funds that we raise through the 6-Man Club go back to the program, whether it's helping feed the guys, whether it's help clothing our guys, getting them extra sweatsuit. You know, we had to do some office upgrades. Hallways are going to be redone. And what it does is it goes back to recruiting. You know, as you talked earlier.
The wow factor.
Everybody wants to go to be entertained. You know, and I think basketball is a very entertaining sport. It's a team sport. One guy is not going to win the game. It's all 5 guys on the court working together for a common goal. I just love the game.
The Casey Malone Show will be right back with more local flavor. Here at the Magic Tree Pub and Eatery with owner Phil Rita and Chef Tank. Been on field trips. I know from where you get your food, and always, I'm never disappointed by your menu. What do we have coming up?
Okay, that's our Magic Monster Burger. It has 2 8-ounce patties and some Walnut Hill Farms pork belly on it with a little bit of pecan jam. We have our new pepperoni pretzel roll with house-made marinara. We have our award-winning bacon jam burger with premium pastured meat on it, and we also have our pot roast and of course our house pretzels.
It all sounds so amazing.
Casey, I am so proud of our kitchen team for the pride they take in making everything from scratch and supporting local farmers. It's what makes Magic Tree live up to who we are, and that's a place where people can eat, drink, and celebrate.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Here at the Upstairs, we cater to everyone. When you come through the door, I treat you as though you're my friend. So there's all kinds of options here at the Upstairs. There's something on that menu for everyone. Great food, friendly service, very clean restaurant. There's a lot of restaurants, a lot of good restaurants in our community. So I always feel honored when someone comes here. I want everybody coming through that door to leave here with a good experience.
Mayflower Woolham is your full-service independent insurance agency for what matters most. Home, auto, life, boat, RV, umbrella. We'll find the right product at the right price for your family. Mayflower Woolham with 3 locations to serve you. $5 Burger Mondays at Sadie's Place, inside the Best Western, Route 46, Austintown.
At the Vein Center and Med Spa, we realize the serious health issue varicose veins can cause. We know it's more than just cosmetic. We provide you with caring and personal service in a clean and friendly atmosphere. All vein procedures are done in our office during convenient and flexible hours by a medical doctor with over 20 years experience. The Vein Center and Med Spa also offers fillers and neurotoxin procedures, hydrofacials, and laser hair removal services. Call the Vein Center and Med Spa for a free consultation. See why our patients leave satisfied. Now accepting Anthem and Highmark.
Part of growing up in Youngstown is growing up with Rowley Brothers Markets. Even friends who have moved out of town come to shop and say hi when they're home for a visit.
And my family has always shopped at Rowley's, and today they are still my favorite grocery store. My recipes depend on the best ingredients, and that's why I get them at Rowley's, where you'll always find the freshest food at the best prices.
Rowley Brothers is a proud sponsor of the KC Malone Show. The quality that customers have come to expect is true local flavor.
I love taking care of customers, especially during the holidays. When there was the turducken craze, we were there. We went from 13 orders to over 500 turduckens in one day online. We really worked with FedEx to be able to coordinate pickup and to make sure everybody's gonna get their product. The number one benefit that we use from the American Express Plum Card is its relationship with FedEx. So now our brand is no longer local, it's national.
Well, as you can hear by the dog barking, we're here on Industrial Road at the Mahoning County Dog Pound, and I'm here with our dog warden, Diane Fry. And this will not be your home for long, will it?
No, thankfully we are getting ready within the next month to 6 weeks, getting ready to move out and move into our new facility.
You know, I never realized how obsolete this building was. I mean, you tell me it was built in like the early 70s.
Right.
And initially it was built to accommodate how many dogs?
22 dogs for 3 days. And then they would be put down. And that was the accepted standard back then. That is no longer the case. And we feel a responsibility. We keep them longer than most people do so that we can see what kind of temperament they have if they're ill. We have a vet tech on staff that is phenomenal. He's our kennel manager. He's in charge of the dogs. So we do a lot to make sure these dogs are responsibly put back into the community or safely returned to their owners.
What is your maximum holding now? If you're talking 22, what is it now?
Well, and we'll take you through so you can see really it's, we've had as much as 72 dogs in this facility, and it's horrible. It's crazy. It's hard to do that and still do it correctly and be responsible about it. And we should be the example.
Do you take cats?
No, we can't. We're the dog warden, and there's actually no state law pertaining to cats in the state of Ohio, that's another huge problem for the community. And at some point, you know, there's other facilities that handle cats and do it very well, but they're overrun. We're actually, all of us, we're all filled to the maximum capacity lately.
Who do you work with when you find a dog that is really of a good temperament, that isn't violent? Do you work with any other dog shelters or anything where you are, able to assist them in giving them dogs?
Yes, we do. We work with a lot of rescues through Friends of Fido. They're a group that got together and got their 501c3, and they handle pull fees. They veterinary our dogs, so our dogs get medical care when they need to. We couldn't do half of what we do and keep these dogs healthy without them. They have been phenomenal. And we work with a lot of people like Animal Charity, where we work in conjunction with them, with Angels. We work with a lot of different rescues, One of a Kind, Legacy, a lot of the local rescues. They all pull together. Everybody's got the same goal. They want to see these dogs handled responsibly and put into good homes.
What do you think the biggest problem facing, the dog population in Mahoning County is right now?
It varies. A lot of people try to focus on that breed specific, the pit bull problem. Every decade has had its breed. There were the Shepherds, there were the Dobermans, then there were the Rottweilers, and now it's the pit bulls, some of the Mastiffs. But the problem is, and when you get so many of one, then it becomes much more difficult to be responsible about it. And just like some of those breeds, some of these dogs are hard to put back, but it doesn't. We've had Labradors and golden retrievers that we haven't been able to put back out into the
they
community.
just have a very aggressive nature. When I spoke to you a while back, when I had found a dog, a little cute dog had wandered onto my back porch, and it was late at night, but it did have a dog tag.
Right.
So the next morning we spoke, and I gave the number, and you were able to identify who the owner was. Is that a big problem, the lack of licensing, the people that aren't registering their dogs?
Absolutely. In the state of Ohio, every single dog should be registered. Some states don't have that, ours does. And it's not just about finding a home, which of course it helps.
The easiest way, because dogs get lost, they get out.
Accidents happen all the time. But that's not, that's your legal proof of ownership. And that's showing, just like a car, you're responsible for that dog.
Rick Tunison is the kennel manager. You're also a vet tech. And you really are a jack of all trades here. You also go and rescue these dogs when they're reported loose.
Right.
And what is one of the most daring rescues you've had in recent memory?
Well, we've actually had a couple of them. One of the more exciting ones was with the Youngstown Fire Department for dogs that had somehow managed to come out an upstairs bedroom window on a vacant property and were on the third floor of the roof.
And was there a fire in the structure?
There was no fire. Somehow they managed to get out an open window and got up on a rooftop and were unable to figure out how to get back in.
Oh my gosh. And obviously you are a dog lover.
Right.
You must rescue some of these dogs, and it's deplorable, the conditions that they're being raised.
It's a very mentally taxing job. Every day we see things that you wish that you didn't have to see, or that you wish that you could forget sometimes. Every situation, when you think you've seen absolutely the worst and there's nothing else they can throw at you, they never let you down.
We'll be right back with the unveiling of the new dog pound. The Casey Malone Show will be right back with more local flavor.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Bernard. I've been giving the people of our valley free advice for 30 years, and my message has never changed. If you're involved in an automobile accident, don't try to handle it yourself. Call a lawyer. A lawyer will be your representative, dealing with doctors, medical insurance, and all the red tape that you may encounter. Hiring a lawyer doesn't mean you'll end up in court. And remember, there are no upfront fees on personal injury cases.
That's good advice. Need a lawyer? Learn more at ElizabethBernardLaw.com.
I love taking care of customers, especially during the holidays. When there was the turducken craze, we were there. We went from 13 orders to over 500 turduckens in one day online. We really worked with FedEx to be able to coordinate pickup and to make sure everybody's gonna get their product. The number one benefit that we use from the American Express Plum Card is its relationship with FedEx. So now our brand is no longer local, it's national.
My mom was always in my corner.
Always pushing me to do better.
I couldn't have asked for a better mother.
So when she needed assisted living,
I did my research.
Doctors, nurses,
and others with family and assisted living,
they all said,
trust the name you know.
Briarfield.
For assisted living with top healthcare experts, a caring staff, and a comfortable home-like setting,
trust the name you know.
Briarfield.
Trust the name you know. Briarfield. proudly serving the Valley for over 20 years.
Mayflower Woolham is your full-service independent insurance agency for your business. We work with several companies so you have choices for your insurance needs. Commercial properties, professional liability, bonding, and general. Trust Mayflower Woolham.
It's time to get real about getting engaged. Real experts you can count on.
Real pricing and financing for your budget. And really one-of-a-kind engagement rings
that are unique as she is. Get real, get Kamara.
Get real, get Kamara.
In the Coal Creek Plaza in Canfield.
4 for $5 till 6. Happy hour at Sadie's Place inside the Best Western, Route 46, Austintown. How many dogs come here pregnant?
We've had 6 or 7 this year. You know, that's a major problem in the community. That's one of the biggest facing departments like ours, is the fact that people are irresponsible and don't take the time to get the dogs spayed or neutered.
How excited are you for your new digs?
Oh, I can't wait. We have really outgrown this building. This building is absolutely horrible. It's served its purpose for the years, but we're going to be able to offer new things to the community at the new place. We're actually going to be able to house puppies. It'll be a safer environment.
Oh, I'm so excited. Are you ready to take me down there and give me the tour?
Let's go.
We're going. So this is the administration side.
This is the administration side, just this in the one hall, and there's a men and women's locker room in the back. They had nowhere. One of the deputies, I'll never forget. She came in. She was in Mill Creek Park, and she was up in this crevice trying to get this little Jack Russell Terrier out. She was covered from head to toe with mud, but she got that little dog, and she had to go home, and she had to drive home in her car because there was nowhere for her to clean up at that current facility.
Well, and I'm sure that there's just accidents happen when you're handling the dogs.
Oh, of course. If you have lost a dog, if you found a stray, this is where you come. There's public restrooms now, and this is actually the kennel manager's domain.
Is this where you'll be hanging, Rick?
This is where I will be hanging.
And we actually have a police kennel now, where the police at night, Mill Creek Park all the time, and a lot of the different departments will pick up a dog and they don't know what to do with it. So they'll actually have a keypad entrance, and there's a beautiful run and 4 cages. So every night, if they happen to pick up a dog, there's a safe place for them to put that dog.
That's great.
The first thing that happens when they come in is they're going to come over here. They're going to get their picture taken, light exam, vaccinated, heartworm tested, scanned for a microchip, and then they're going to move into the next part of the facility, which is where they will complete their 3-day stray hold, which is required by law. So this is where every dog that comes into the facility will come through this area right here. So after they get all their shots, they're going to move into here, where they're going to hold their three days.
So this is almost like a quarantine.
Yep, this is their quarantine.
That's exactly what this is.
Okay, and look at the size for the bigger dogs.
Well,
I mean,
and this is the smallest.
amazing.
This is the smallest run we have because it's just for 3 days, and especially if they're sick or they're injured, you want to give them time to decompress. You want to give them a small area just to settle in.
The bigger dogs are all in this room for their quarantine. This is where they all do their 3 days at, and like I said, they're here for 3 days, and then they'll move in on day 4 to the next part of the facility where they'll finish out their 14-day quarantine for disease before becoming available for adoption.
So this will be for small dogs.
Oh.
And we have a room exactly like this on the other side for just puppies, but all on different air handlers. So if somebody's sick, everybody is not infected.
This is where they finish out their 14 days at, over here.
Right.
They're held for 11 days back here. This is all the large breed dogs. After they do their legal 3-day hold and they become property of the county, In Mahoney County, we hold them for an extra 11 days just to make sure that they're not sick.
Wow, now this is much nicer.
Right.
Right.
My gosh, this looks like my room in college. This is like my dorm room.
There's definitely plenty of room in there.
And plus, now they've been here long enough, they want to look.
Big enough for me here. Let's see. Is it comfortable?
Oh, they're very comfortable.
What do you think, Bill? You like it?
It's a good fit.
Do I belong here?
Here is the outside play area for the little dogs. And we have that huge exercise area where if we're successful and we can get them playing, that will get so much of that energy worked off, and that will make them so much better.
So now this is like...
This is puppy adoption.
Okay, so the puppies will be here for people to come in and view them.
Right.
When are there special adoption hours? Or is it just when you're open?
It's when we're open back here
and
for
then
the
this
large.
is the play area where they come and...
This is the indoor play area for demonstrations, for meet and greets, for... We're going to try to learn how to address dog selective behavior.
So you have seen the before and now the after. So 1230 North Meridian Road. And this is due to open late summer, early fall. We'll keep you posted on the exact date. And you know, this is beautiful.
It is.
And you know, both of you obviously love the dogs that you care for. And you know, we're really lucky here in Mahoney County to have both of you.
Thank you so much.
And this is an amazing facility, really. Look for this grand opening, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
This has been
Thank you very
a
much
real
for coming.
eye-opener.
Thank you for coming.
The Casey Malone Show is sponsored in part by Denise and John York and the DeBartolo Corporation.